going on YouTube? I thought I would jump on a quick live, see what's going on with everybody. I'm here, as you can see, in Venice, Italy. It's late afternoon. It's really ridiculously nice. Thought I'd go live. I can't believe this place. It's honestly one of the nicest places. This is the hotel I'm staying at, just behind me here. What's going on, guys? Good to see a few of you jumping in. Let's have a look at the live chat. But yeah, man, welcome to Venice, Italy. This is where I will be for the next 2 nights. Just come from Florence. Good to see you, Marco GT5. Hey, what's going on, man? Vitaly vs. Dave, who have I got? AK asked that question, man. Instinct says Dave. I don't know what form. Vitaly's bringing it. Ryan's exposed cable says, be careful, man. What am I being careful of? Falling over this rail into the canal? I don't know. Either way, man, it's so nice to hear. Honestly, the vibe, the first impression was cool. I don't know if you've been to this part of the world, but it's very relaxing. It's very relaxing. Funnily enough, I just spent a week in Istanbul, and I get here and voice of arm wrestling says Mr. Croissant. No, we're not in France yet. Right. We're still in Italy. This is Venice. Gabby could pop up around the corner, says Ryan's exposed cable. Yeah, she could. I hope so. I don't know if there's arm wrestling in Venice. Yeah. AK says we need you to commentate King of the Table East vs West, bro. Loved it. Watch this space. Watch this space. Your wish may very well come true. Yeah. Can't tell you anything official, but watch this space. Arm wrestling news. Pretty good to see you, man. Hello, Ryan. We are waiting. Were you waiting for my live stream to end? Oh, sorry. I have no idea who was live. So I apologize if I cut you off, Pradeep. If I timed it perfectly, awesome. No, I just felt like going for a walk and thought I'll go live. The Wi-Fi here is really good. Gabby versus Sam Burnett. Who wins? Good match. Good match. Honestly, I think, Gabby, Sam Burnett. But no, I don't know. Sam's got a lot of good hand control up top. Maybe Sam. I don't know, but good match. But anyway, what's going on? What is going on? You're there in exactly 2 weeks, says Jordan Wells West. Man, sounds good. This place is so nice. Honestly, the first impression coming on here, we caught a train and we got to catch a taxi to the cab, and you're jumping in a water taxi. It's freaking amazing. It is nice and peaceful where I'm staying. Like the main tourist section is like probably 2-3 minutes walk from here. But once you get out of that main tourist section, it gets nice and peaceful like this, and it's just a few gondolas going by. I'm in one of the side canals, not in the main thing. I can't walk too far from here because I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi, and I'll lose you guys if I do. I might go for a walk later and show you guys a bit more detail. But yeah, I just thought I would catch up. I'm going to take a seat. Hang on a second. Some other cool things that are going on. So I'm going to be catching up with Paris club on Sunday. Améric Prodines, I think he's the president of the French Arm Wrestling Federation. He has lined up I think it's 2 o'clock on Sunday. If you are from the French crew, 2 o'clock Sunday, we'll be catching up. I've got to somewhat protect my arm. When I grouped up with the Italian guys, hey, Matt Connolly, good to see you, man. Veronica, hey. Yeah, when I caught up with the Italian guys, the one thing that did highlight to me was that my elbow is still sore. Side pressure is not something that I want to do right now because I need to obviously just protect that, get it as ready as I can for the competitive super matches that I've got coming up. But hand control and all that sort of stuff, no dramas at all. It was really cool grouping up with the Italian guys. I got to be Johnny, who's the number 2 ranked arm wrestler in Italy at 80 kilos, left and right. He was cool, and it really surprised me actually how good my left went against him. Become a romantic Italian, right? I'm slowly learning the language. By slowly, I mean really slowly. I have maybe 3 or 4 words now, but it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, Aaron, it was a cool video. The Danielle Circa, is it? 30-year veteran of the sport, someone who's been an overall champ of Italy 12 times. He felt super strong. His hand didn't feel too threatening. Felt like balance, but his lat pressure and the side pressure through the base of his palm was really big. And with the inflammation I had in my elbow, I was just like, oh man, there's no way I can stand in front of him. He felt like someone that would be a good match for Lachlan, to be honest. Um, Hollywood Matt Connolly says, had a hilarious podcast with Laz today. His goal is to have a super match with you in about a year. Laz both, or I'm assuming you're talking about, yeah, man, I'd love it. Yeah, Veronica, it is lovely. It's lovely down here. We came wandering in on a water taxi. It's just peaceful. It's just quiet and peaceful, to be honest. Uh, I can't imagine growing up in this part of the world. Come to Padova, says Snakes. Man, I've had it. I guess I wanted to say a lot of people have hit me up with invitations to various places since I've been here, and I'd love to catch up with everyone, but we're somewhat limited. Obviously, we're on a schedule. We've got flights booked already and all that sort of stuff. So what we can do from there. So even there, Snakes, to get 1.5 hours from Venice, for me, like I'm here 2 nights, we'd lose everything. So if you come to me, I'll wrestle you, but I can't add 1.5 hours travel each way on a 2 night stay somewhere. But I appreciate that either way, man. Hey, Matthias says big respect for material about PEDs. I wish more people will like it. Yeah, it's all good. I mean, it's not one of those subjects that's easy to talk about for a lot of people for a lot of reasons. It's in a lot of countries, it's not something that's legal, and sponsors and all that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm wrestling news sending me super chats. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He says my brother watches arm wrestling because of me, and since East Vs West 4, he's told me about 10 times how you're the best commentator. Wait for me to join. That's awesome. I've really had a lot of support from the arm wrestling community with the commentary. And like I said, sorry, I've got a sneeze trying to come out. Sorry about that. There might be one more. No, we got it under control. Yeah, so arm wrestling news, Pradeep. I appreciate it, man. I had a lot of fun. I've been commentating the sport for quite a while. It's in some sense of the form when I did my breakdown videos and all that sort of stuff. It was really where I began, and I think a lot of people heard my commentary for the first time at East vs West 4, and even people like Angan had never heard it before, and he was quite surprised as well. So the good news is, guys, opportunities are opening. I can't tell you formally what opportunities those are, but I can tell you that there are significant opportunities that have opened since East vs West 4 for commentary. I've had a large number of people. That's all I'll say. I've had a large number of people. Yeah, check this out. This is how people get around in Venice. Look at them just cruising on by, doing what they do. So yeah, a large number of people have hit me up since then, and there are things coming that I'll soon be able to announce involving commentary. And that's cool. That's a big part of the sport for me. I love the commentary. I've always said that it goes hand in hand for me. Hey, Matthias, thank you for the $10 super chat. It says, for beer, you're the man. Enjoy, brother. Thank you for what you're doing for arm wrestling. I really appreciate that. I'll definitely grab a beer, man. And thank you. Yeah, it's fun, man. I when you guys thank me for what I'm doing for arm wrestling, like I said, I thank you guys, because I get to travel the world and do this sort of stuff. I know COVID held that back for the last 2 years, but this is the sort of stuff I get to do. Like I said, one of the coolest things, other than gripping up with the French guys, is I've been talking with Krasimir Kostadinov, Božidar Simonov. There is a very, very good chance before I return to Australia that I will head to Bulgaria, to Božidar's hometown, and get maybe 3-4 days of content with those guys, where I'll be in the gym with those guys exclusively, and we'll arm wrestle hard, and we'll train hard, and Krasimir's juniors will probably beat up on me. They're that badass. But I am so keen to get content with all those guys. I'm so keen to soak up some of their knowledge. I've admired Bulgarian arm wrestling for a long time from afar. So to be able to hang out with those dudes would be super cool. And yeah, that is something that I'm working on literally this afternoon. I was in talks with Bojda about making that happen. So that's another cool thing. I just feel like I can't be in this part of the world without going to places like that. Fake the Boss says, Rome or Venice, which do you prefer? On first impressions, I would say Venice, but I've only been here for a couple of hours, so I've got to work out that. Rome is beautiful, the spectacular structures, the amount of just creative talent that was in that place really blew my mind. Like, I know it's a weird thing, like the gross sort of wealth of the Vatican and things like that is kind of, in some ways, terrible, but in other ways, when you look at it, I was just walking through the Vatican and looking at all the paintings and carvings and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of ridiculous how much creative talent there was there, and how many man hours of work there was there, and that just inspired me. I'm just like, made me think, oh man, there's so much that people can do. So Rome was cool, but the beautiful nature of Venice is very, I don't know, it's that romantic, artistic sort of feel. So it's pretty sweet. Hollywood says you need a full-time cameraman to follow you around like Larry Wheels. Yeah, there's so much that I'd love to show you guys. I got some hooligans now. I don't know what they're doing. But locals, can't trust them. Yeah. I don't know about the full-time cameraman. That stuff would be awesome for like when I visit Bulgaria, to have a dedicated cameraman that just doesn't miss stuff, because a lot of the interactions when you first walk into the room, when you first walk into the gym, when you're first greeting each other, when you're first just having a laugh, all that stuff is awesome. And you miss that when you don't have the cameraman with you, when you're just doing it via your own stuff. So I agree in that sense, but it's all right. I'll just stick the camera on. I'll just make it awkward, because it won't be awkward, because there's a really cool dudes, Bojda and Krasi, and I'll get to meet Sasho as well. That'll be awesome. CV says some of the stones that make the roads and buildings in Rome are more than 2,000 years old. Yeah, exactly, man. The amount of, if the stones could speak when you're in Rome, there's so much there. Going through the Roman forums and things like that was crazy. For like 4,000 people or something died in the Colosseum over the time I was there. Like, that in itself is just ridiculous. Yeah, CV says, amazing to think that in time the stones have probably never touched a hand as strong as Ryan's. I don't know. I'm happy to say that I'm up there in the ranks of human history on arm wrestling. I think I beat the majority of humans in history, but there's no doubt been some phenomenally giant, strong humans in there in history as well. Yeah, and Rome has been a hotspot for that with the Colosseum. Did I fly up or drive? Man, I flew. I flew to Istanbul from Brisbane, Australia, and then from there we flew to Rome, and then I caught the train from Rome to Florence, and then the train from Florence to Venice. And tomorrow, in 2 days' time, I'll fly to France, to Paris. AGM says, I'm looking forward to documenting your new training program once I get home. Yeah, the new training program once I get home is going to be about fundamental strength. It's just basic strength. The one thing that I feel so far is I feel like my critical arm wrestling strengths are good. Training with the guys yesterday, the Italian guys, against the number 2 ranked 80 kilo guy in Italy, I felt fine. Despite the people posting on Reddit the footage of me just losing. If you watch the full context of it, it's no dramas. The 80 kilo dude, Johnny, yeah, he was solid but very comfortable for me. I was able to control him with just my hand, and my side pressure was really inflamed, so I was just pinning him with hand control. And then when I tried to hold just with hand and not use any offense, he would wear me down with his relentless attack and all that sort of stuff. But it showed me where my specific strengths are at versus my fundamental, just basic human strength. And so basic human strength is what I'm most interested in adding: the biceps, the shoulders, the chest, the back, the lats. Adding all that to my specific strength, I'm excited to see where it takes me. So that's what will come once I get back to Australia. Yeah, so I think that answers your question as well there, AB. Deadlifts, though, are something that may be a little tricky. Deadlifts for me cause a lot of lower back injuries. I had a parachuting accident in 2007 where I tore my L4, L5 disc, and as a result of that, I struggle with deadlifts. I can do them, but the cumulative effect of doing them as a regular routine, every time I've ever tried to go to that, within a week or two, it catches up to me and starts making me feel bad. So, Answay says, which other cities are you visiting in Italy? This is my last stop in Italy. Saturday, I'll be in Paris. So apologies, I won't be able to get to Turin. Hollywood Matt Conley, what's the feedback been like for your most recent video on PDs? A lot of positive responses I see. Yeah, I think most people have been welcoming of the fact that I've been open and spoke about it. I think that if I remember back, I remember actually asking Devon a long time ago if I should do that. And Devon's advice to me at the time was like, man, you'll get heaps of credibility from people, but you'll also get a more intense opposition to it as well from those who are firmly against it. And but to be honest, even the people that were against it have thanked me for the transparency and for the honesty, and they've said, look, I appreciate it, and then they've kind of very, very just, yeah, as grown adults had a conversation about why they think it's no good or whatever. But certainly feel fine about it, having that conversation. I think it's good. I get why it's difficult to have that conversation, because in a lot of different countries, like some countries, like it's going to be, first of all, it's going to be illegal to do it. So that straight away brings to it, if you're associated with an official organization or anyone affiliated with WAF or anything like that, they can't be promoting that. They can't be seen to be promoting that. And so you're burning bridges if you do it. So I get why they just hush up, but and then they get ostracized because they're being quiet, and so the social pressures start to get to everybody, and it gets kind of ridiculous, and then you end up in weird situations where you've got someone who's clearly on it denying it because they kind of have to. Yeah. Pivot Master says, I love Reddit, but it's the plague. Yeah, Reddit's weird space. Benji Max is nice. Enjoy Italy. But yeah, Matt, just concluding that one, I guess, it's nice to be able to talk openly about it. I will say that I do think that everyone's on at the top, like everyone. I don't think that there's anyone that's not. That's my honest opinion. I could be wrong, but I don't think there's anyone that's off. CV said, I thought the PD video was very well done, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Aaron says, might be good to just do standing squats for a long time. Can help a little with the natural testosterone boost too. Yeah, that's one thing that I will do regarding the PEDs and that is, well, when I get back to Australia, I'm going to do some comprehensive blood tests to find out where things are at, because it's been, the last blood test I had done was when I was on, when I was monitoring things to make sure everything was still good. But I need to do that now that I'm off and see where things are at. My body weight, by the way, if anyone's wondering, is like pretty much back to 95 kilos now. I've forced so much food in, I'm like constantly bloated, but it's been fun. Whilst being here in Italy, I've just been eating like 4 main meals a day and everything in between, desserts in between. I feel fat and bloated, but it feels nice to be back at 95 kilos. Richard Jennings, good afternoon, man. Yeah, I am having a blast. I appreciate the videos. Thanks for the support, man. Stephen Saki says, Sup, Blue. What's going on, Stephen? GB, Ryan, get with the big weight movements, bench, deadlifts, and squats. They'll boost your testosterone. Yeah, all those things. Arm Wars like the video. Says, that's okay. You and Aussie Arm Wrestler can transcend federations. Just make the product reflect boxing, if that's how the product content goes. Yeah, I appreciate all the insights from you, man. Always appreciate it. Chance Shaw, what's up, man? Good to see you. Chance Shaw, killing it at the last East vs West. Man, yeah, good to see you, man. Just hanging out here in Italy, in Venice. Just outside my hotel. I would love to take you guys for a walk to show you everything, but I've got to stay on the hotel Wi-Fi. This is the first hotel that I've been at that the Wi-Fi has a really good speed. So, yeah, I appreciate it. The Wi-Fi here compared to everywhere else. Hollywood says you need a possible rematch with Coach Ray if I beat Bogdan. Do you think the extra weight will make an impact? Well, man, look, I would love a rematch with Coach Ray if all the circumstances went. No doubt, look, Coach Ray was in amazing form. I'll take my hat off to him. Uh, you have to say there was a factor with my weight for sure. How much? I don't know. If I do, if the circumstances do lead to a rematch, I'd love it. Obviously, though, a rematch doesn't take anything away from Ray's victory. At the same weight, Ray crushed me, so that's his credit always. If I was to be heavier and to face Ray again, and it was balanced, again, that would just be more of a reflection of Ray's level. So I'm impressed with what Ray was able to do, to be honest. Yeah, I know he's pulling the Latvian nationals very soon. Ray might even still be in here, but I can't wait to see how he does in that. Yeah, Guy Allen says, "Dude, I was just in Venice. So crazy." Chance Shaw should be rematched with Bowen if you want to take Ryan's place, says Cacti. No, look, chances a different weight category for me at the moment, and he's on a roll. So Chance and I, there's no need to be scheduling that one anytime soon. Chance and I mean, I'd love to hang out with Chance, train with Chance, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, but no, different pathways right now. Thoughts on the Jerry Cataract Gennady match, man? That was Matt Connolly. That was the best match I've ever seen. When I say the best match, I mean I'll say it, the most intense in terms of leave it on the table. The effort put in by those guys, that was huge. I've never seen anything quite like it before. And then to be able to be the person officially calling it was phenomenal. Yeah, absolutely loved that match, and the fact that Jerry came back in like a freaking hand grenade into the overall ranks and things like that is just super cool. And I think he's the favorite to beat Hermes Gasparini now, just through style. I think Hermes is worried about him. Chatting with Hermes over the breakfast bar and things like that in Istanbul was I could sense that there's like legitimate concern about Jerry. So I mean, Hermes is the best top roller on earth, I think, in terms of combination of strength and proficiency. I would say he's the best top roller out there. So maybe he has enough, but Jerry just loves top rollers. If you look at Jerry's history against people like Travis Bagent, like I think he's only ever lost once to Travis, and that was all through Travis's best and peak. Jerry always used to crush Travis. So it's an interesting one because Jerry feels so comfortable against top rollers, but like I've got to say, when I think about it, like the position that Gennady was able to achieve, if Hermes got to that same position, I feel like Hermes has more back pressure than Gennady, so that might separate Jerry even more, and it might make it difficult. I don't know. End of the day, it's for me, Hermes. Before Jerry's performance against Gennady, Hermes was for me in my head the number 2 in the world. I can only see Levan as the person that beats him with certainty. I don't think there's anyone else out there that beats Hermes with certainty. It's a match, and Hermes is the favorite for me, with the exception of Jerry. Now that Jerry's there, it's an unknown. To me, it's a 50-50 match, and I don't know who to favor. I'm on Team Jerry for the fact that he's a ginger. But I don't know who to pick as to who I think will actually win. Killer match. Yeah, and then there's Morozov. Eric has mentioned Morozov as well. Yeah, Morozov looks stronger and stronger. As you see in 2 years, yeah, that's all it's been. Hey, Morozov is a monster. He's a young guy, 24 years old, and he was how tall was he? He was at least 6'5". He was very, very tall. His arms and shoulders just look ridiculous, and he's proven that he can arm wrestle now. He's beating Cody Spermeritt on left convincingly, and beating Dave Shafee on right. Yeah, phenomenal stuff. James Statham says, become a member of Arm Wars today to see Ryan on the Iron House in 2 weeks. Yeah, there you go. We've got more arm wrestling coming up. James Statham, good to see you, man. Hope you guys are well. Eric, I see Morozov rising stronger and stronger. Yep, sorry, got that one already. Who should Chance Shaw face next from Matt Connolly? That's a Good question. Who should Chance Shaw face next? If he's in that East versus West crowd still, after his match with like it's interesting because Chance has been having great matches with the guys from 100 to 110 kilos. Like Chance pulled John in John's original comeback. We've seen Chance pull Todd Hutchings, Zuref Tabaridze, obviously, as well as in that weight category where Chance got his victory. So Chance is having a great run against those guys. If we were keeping him in opponents of that size, for entertainment's sake, it'd be super cool to see him pull even someone like Kirigali Ongabayev. I think Ongabayev's game would be a game where Chance has a lane and a possibility. Although Chance does do well against hookers, so maybe Krasimir Kostadinov. Yeah, actually, that's the one who I'd go. Krasimir Kostadinov, if I had to pick one. And Krasi would probably take that match. Yeah, maybe not on Garbayev. Go Krasi. I don't know. Either way, but if we're going Chance into his weight category, it gets a little trickier. Then we're talking Chance Shaw against. I don't know. Do we dare throw Chance up against someone like Rivas or? I don't know, that's getting scary. Rivas is tall. We need who's the biggest hooker out there? The biggest hooker out there. That's who Chance wants. I don't know. Chance is in the chat. Chance, who do you want? Lagia, unfortunately, I'm not going to be catching up with Hermes Gasparini. We chatted a lot over the last couple of days to try to make it possible, but we couldn't make our schedules align. Where Hermes is about an hour and a half away from me where I am at the moment, but he is busy this afternoon with business, and he flies to Germany tomorrow. So I just couldn't get it. Good to hear. Nanya says name pronunciation is on point with Hermes Gasparini. Hermes was teaching us how to all pronounce his name at East vs West. Yeah. Chance Shaw says, I'll be pulling a Georgian. You'll be pulling a Georgian. Just spit it out, Chance. Who are you pulling next? Who are you pulling next? Georgian. What? Rivas? Rivas? That's a big match if it's Rivas. Am I going to Germany? No, unfortunately, won't be in Germany as part of this trip. Yeah, as much as I'd love to, just like I said, all my flights are booked and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Rivas has training with Irakli and Georgia club. Gennady Levan, really, Rivas is slaving too, says Eric. Hollywood, Matt Conley. I'd like to see Hermes and Devon. However, from a business standpoint, I don't see Devon being particularly interested in Hermes. He doesn't have enough star power. Hermes has the star power, but I think Devon avoids that match because it's a bad match for Devon. I think that Hermes is very dangerous to Devon, and in my opinion, probably the favourite. With Devon coming down in weight, I feel like that he's the favourite in that match. What do you think about the Krasi versus Matt Mask? Yeah, good match. Both guys seemingly on a bit of a difficult run at the moment. Krasi's taken a lot of losses. Matt Mask has taken a couple of beatings recently as well. So one of those guys will finally get back on the winner's circle. I don't know who. It's up in Canada, so it will be advantage Matt in that respect, but. Classical hook versus classical, or not really classical, but crazy low hand top roll. Yeah. Eric says, Ryan, I definitely want the rematch against Coach Ray. Yeah. Who knows? As Coach Ray has said a number of times, he and I are both lifers in this sport, so we will no doubt cross paths again, that's for sure. What's up with Krasi's mass? He looks a lot smaller. I think Krasi's maybe around the 105 kilo mark, which is kind of typical Krasi. So, yeah. Ryan, there is a strong arm wrestling club in Venice or near you. Visit it and do some videos there. I don't think I'm going to have the ability to. My arm is quite tender from pulling at the Florence Club just yesterday. Was it yesterday? I can't even remember. Time is a blur. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday morning or something like that that I pulled. So I'm quite sore. I'm going to be pulling with the Paris Club on Sunday. So between now and then, I definitely don't have the ability to do anything else. What did I miss? Hollywood, Matt, yes, that beef is building back up rather than letting it out due to being between Devin Larratt and Hermes. Yeah, that's a future match. We'll see it for sure. How was the after pulling at East West West? My after pulling for me was just I gripped up with I don't know the gentleman's name. I should know his name. He's a world champ in his own right. Good friends with Engen Terzi. He summoned me to the table and kind of hustle strapped me, which was funny. But he strapped up with me in a low hand top roll, and he didn't do the strap up. I wanted it nice and tight to suck down into the hook, and he left the strap literally undone and was insisting we start. And so I was just like, oh yeah, okay, I'll pull like this after he hustle straps me, and he subsequently bust my wrist back, and I kind of jammed in side pressure and was defending, but I really did blow my arm up pretty bad. The elbow was pretty sore pretty quickly, and then immediately after that was when I jumped on with Gabby, and Gabby then was too much for me after that. So that's all I did for after pulling. I was really sore to be honest. Yeah. How strong is Daniel Sakana from Marco Fernotto? Daniel felt really good. His hand felt not so bad. Like I could do something with his hand. Sorry, hiccups. I could do something with his hand, but it was his arm or his lats and the side pressure through the base of his palm felt really substantial. It's difficult to get an accurate read on his level because he's definitely he's above my level. I think he'd be a great match for Chance, for example. I think he'd be a great match for Lachlan. But with my elbow being flared up, I couldn't really do anything for him on the side pressure factor, and he was too much. So yeah, but Daniel Sakana, he's a 12-time overall champion of Italy, so it gives you an idea. He's been in this sport for 30 years, so conditioned to the maximum. Ryan, will you add a new training routine, and what weigh-in do you plan to reach? 2019, you seem very strong. Rest assured, guys, I'm stronger now than I was in 2019. I know I am. Don't worry about that. I know with absolute certainty I'm way stronger now than I was in 2019. If you're just judging by the internet and random videos and shit like that, you're going to get a skewed point of view. If you follow my journey closely, you'll know exactly where I am. Lachlan is ahead of me in Australia. I've gone past everybody else in Australia. There's now a gap between me and number 3. So don't worry so much. But my training as I move forward, I am going to focus on a foundation of basic strength. I want to float around the 95 to 100 kilo mark. I think that's where I'm going to be. Do I think Sakana can beat Lachlan? I think Sakana and Lachlan would be a solid match. I think stylistically it would suit Lachlan because Lachlan's hand is far superior to mine, and Daniel and my hand felt pretty similar. It was Daniel's arm that was far better than my arm. So I think Daniel's arm and Lachlan's arm are probably similar, but I would give Lachlan the edge on the hand. So I think it'd be a decent match, but I think Lachlan would probably take it. Yeah, and Sakana's not in his prime now, even though he's the 12-time overall champ. He's not in his prime. He's been arm wrestling 30 years. He coaches a lot. He said he's the captain of as he described it, the #1 club in Italy. So yeah, no doubt a badass, but yeah, he's not in his prime anymore. I'm not sure if Terence Opperman's going to be in Australia. If he is, he's got to have a match with Lachlan for sure. Terence, obviously one of those dudes that's been right at the pointy end of WAF and things like that for many occasions. So that'll be cool to see Terence do something like that. Yeah, awesome. We just need more experience in Australia. We just need more starts with more people. Even training with the Italians yesterday was something where I was just able to feel differences. One of the fastest ways to learn for me is to just touch people's hands and just soak up that knowledge, download the data, and absorb what it is they do and the way they move, the way they apply their pressures, what they look for in their positions as they're setting up, and I could feel a lot of different stuff. I noticed a lot of stuff about getting they hide their knuckle, their thumb knuckle, very effectively, and they make you come down and they make you feel slightly disconnected. So being comfortable in a obscure wrist position is something that you need to map in your own game to become comfortable with the way those guys pull. But yeah. Ryan, what's your prediction on Monster Michael Todd versus Prudnik? I think, well, it is an interesting match. I think Prudnik will win the hand control, but I think Michael will have a defense to cause a problem. I think Prudnik will have the technical patience to get what's done, but Michael may just have the endurance to just wait it out. No doubt Michael can finish if he gets his shoulder behind and presses. Super interesting match, if you ask me. Yeah, and Pilatar, yeah, man, I kind of touched on this one before. Definitely had a good response from the PD video and all sort of stuff. Everyone's been supportive, and it's nice to be able to talk openly about all those things. But good stuff. All right, guys. I might wrap it up pretty soon. If you've got any more questions for me, hit me up now. I might stick around for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, unless anyone asks any awesome questions. Then I'll wrap it up, and yeah. Ryan, what do I think of Jerry and Hermes? Tough match. I think stylistically Jerry does so very well against top rollers, but Hermes may be good enough of a top roller to cause him a problem. Hermes has great hand control. I've heard other people like Michael and many others make comments that Hermes has the strongest hand they've ever felt. So that helps Hermes. But again, if we look at Jerry and we look at his history against arm wrestlers like Travis Bagent, even all through Travis's height, Jerry never had a problem against him, beat him comfortably over and over and over again. Jerry loves top rollers. Because they take nothing away from him. All their attempts at hand control does nothing. Jerry's very comfortable giving it. Jerry's very comfortable coming to the front of the pad. Jerry from there is a tank. I think Jerry is truly the side pressure king. I know we call Todd Hutchins that, but Jerry's elbows, man, that dude's more resilient in side pressure than anyone else. Yeah, crazy match. Can't wait for it. And the good news is, like I said, there's a good chance I'm commentating that as well. So I can't wait. But we'll see. Official announcements to come. All right, Aaron Castillo. Do you know if there's another Australian contingent planning to come to Washington States again this year? It would be awesome to see you guys as well. Yeah, I suspect Mario Tambakis wants to come back. I'm not sure. I still can't get into the US. They won't let me in. I'm still not vaccinated, and I'm not going to. So they're not letting me in. So until that rule changes, I know I won't be there. Mark Meyer, have you talked to the King of the Table crew about Irakli versus Lachlan mismatch? Yeah, look, Irakli's the heavy favourite in that match for sure. Lachlan's going to do his best, and he's preparing as hard as he can, and he can do nothing more than his best. They're aware of all the matches. The thing about King of the Table is that they're very much about the most interesting, hyped matches that have super fascinating stories. Like the progression of arm wrestling in terms of where you fit as an athlete are. You get noticed by being in tournaments and things like that, and that by doing well, and then you end up on an East vs West card, and you start to become known, you start to become recognized as a fan favorite and things like that. And then after you've kind of earned your way through the East vs West, you're right, man. After you've kind of earned your way through the East vs West crowd a little more, and you've established yourself as a fan favorite, and you've proven that you can draw a crowd, then you get invites to the King of the Table, which is, again, King of the Table is about the talking point matches. It's not necessarily about the biggest match, the best match, even though we had Levan and Devon, which was the biggest match. it's not about that. King of the Table is about the biggest talking point matches. So, although Irakli and Lachlan may be a lopsided match in terms of the physical likelihoods of that, it's still an interesting talking point match. So, hence they've booked it. Schoolboy, Khaled, all that sort of stuff. Sarah Latone, hey Ryan, hey everybody. Loves Venice, one of my favorite cities in Italy. Yeah, it's awesome. Love it. Like I said, I wish I could go for a walk with you guys to show you what's going on. I'm staying here. If you want to look it up, that's where I'm staying. The Hotel Sa de Conte. There you go. Anyway, I need to go for a walk now, and yeah. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me for 40 minutes, you guys. Yeah. All right, guys. Take care.